Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Kissinger at the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York. This is 5th grade math, module 4, lesson 2. Today we're going to be interpreting fractions as division. So rather than looking at a fraction as a number somewhere on a number line between whole numbers, so I might have, 0 and 1, 2, and a fraction might be somewhere in here like 1 2/3. We're going to look at a fraction as a division problem instead. So let's look at our first page here. It says draw a picture to show the division, write a division expression using unit form, then express your answer as a fraction. The first one is partially done for you. So it says 1 divided by 5 equals 5/5 divided by 5, because 1 is equal to 5/5, equals 1/5. And 1/5 looks like that. So let's draw the picture here for this. We have 1, so I'm going to draw one hole here. And I have to divide one hole into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups. And I have one piece. So what I need to do is I need to make my one hole into 5/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 pieces here. And the way I'm going to divide this is I'm going to put one piece into each group. And in each group, I'm going to end up with 1/5. One of these is 1/5. So you see 1 divided by 5, one whole divided by 5 is 1/5. We're just separating into groups, making it a division problem. But what if we're not splitting one whole? What if we're splitting 3? So we have 3 divided by 4. So 3 divided by 4. 3 is really 12/4. I guess let's draw the picture first so we can see why 3 is 12/4. So I have 1 hole here, I have 2 here, and I have 3 here. Then I need to break my holes into fourths. So now I have my holes broken into fourths, and if I count up my fourths, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 fourths, which makes sense because 3 times 4 would be 12. So I have 12 fourths altogether. So I have 12 fourths divided by 4 equals 3 fourths. And that looks like this. So let's divide. We have 3 holes, and we're putting those into 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And if I started to divide everything out, I would do 1/4 here. This one would go here. And this one would go here. This one's going here. My second one's going here. My second one's going here. Oh, not there. Into my second group. And then my third one, we'll go to my third group, and so on. So here I have 1, 2, 3 fourths going into this group. I know I'll have 3 fourths going into this group. I'll have 3 fourths going into this group, and I'll have 3 fourths going into this group. So when I divide three wholes into 4 groups, I get 3 fourths in each group. 3 divided by 4. 3 divided by 4. Now let's try 6 divided by 4. Well, 6 divided by 4 equals 6 fourths, or 6 divided by 6 in fourths. So if I'm going to take 6 wholes and I'm going to split each whole into fourths, well, I'm going to have 24 fourths altogether. 6 times 4 is 24, so I'll have 24 fourths. Let's take a look at that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm splitting them all into fourths. I'll do it this way this time. Small little boxes here. I'm splitting each one into fourths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I have 24 fourths altogether. And I need to split those into 4 groups. Well, if I take 1 from each one of these, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to have 6 fourths altogether. So I have 24 fourths divided by 4. And I'm going to get 6 fourths, which looks like this. 6 fourths. In each of these other groups, we get 6 fourths. And if I add all of those together, I would get 24 fourths, which would equal 6. So I have my 4 groups, all 4 of those added together would make 6, which is what I divided in the first place here. So 6 fourths times 4 would equal 6. So 6 divided by 4 is 6 fourths. And 6 fourths could also be expressed as 1 and 2 fourths. 2 fourths is really a half, so it could be 1 and a half. If we added these together, we have, if we had 6 of these fourths, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we see that that is 1 whole and a half. So we'd have 1 and a half going into each group, 6 fourths. So let's try a word problem. Our word problem says, draw to show how 2 children can equally share 3 cookies. Write an equation and express your answer as a fraction. So we're going to draw. We have 2 children and we have 3 cookies. So I'm not very artistic, so I'm going to draw 2 stick figures from our 2 children here. We have 1 here and 1 over here. 2 children. In the middle here, I'm going to make 3 cookies. Maybe I'll put some chocolate chips in there. Chocolate chip cookies. Those little dots of chocolate chips. We're going to have to use our imagination. So we have 2 children, we have 3 cookies. How are we going to split them up and so that each child gets the same amount? Well, if I have split them all into 2, they could each take half of each of the cookies, and we know that 1, 2, 3 halves would go here, and 1, 2, 3 halves would go there. And the way that that would look is we would have 3 halves. Oh. Well, let's look at it instead as 3 cookies divided by 2 children, 2 groups. And we see that each one gets 3 halves. Well, we also could take 1 cookie. 1 cookie could go here. We could do another cookie, and this one could go here. And then they could split these halves, and one could go here and one could go there. And then they would each get 1.5 cookies. 3 divided by 2 is 1 and 1/2. And if we look at 3 halves, we can see 3 is the same as 2 halves. 3 halves is the same as 2 halves plus 1/2. Well, 2 halves is 1 plus 1/2. And that would give us 1 and 1/2. And that way they each get the same amount of cookies. So just a different way of looking at division. We can look at it as a number that's between 2 whole numbers, but we can also look at or a different way of looking at fractions, I should say, fractions as division. Fraction can be between 2 whole numbers, or a fraction can be a division equation between 2 numbers. We could have 2 divided by 3. As a final example here, I'll say as a fraction as a division problem, let's look at one that would not be a number between 2 whole numbers necessarily. How about 6/3? If I had 6 wholes, and I wanted to divide it into 3 groups, I could go 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and I'd have 2 of these in each group. 6/3 is the same as 2. They are equivalent, because 6/3 is the same as 6 divided by 3. So when we look at a fraction, we have to remember fractions are just division. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing everybody next time.